Hello everybody, welcome back to Rich's Realm. It's been a week since I think I last uploaded, and that video was kind of like saying why I was taking a break from Realm, and a lot of things were in that video that I wanted to see, and it looks like we've got a preview, a little bit of a taste of what's coming further on in Marvel Realm of Champions with further updates coming in. We're going to have a look at that right now. Now, I haven't logged into Marvel Realm in a bit of a time, and that's again fine for me. There's been too much things elsewhere that I wanted to concentrate my attention on, and especially with preparing for Marvel Future Revolution and other games that I'm interested in putting on this channel, that's been a priority. But it's important to look over what Kabam have got in state for us when it comes to 3.0's launch on the 4th of May, and I don't want to make this the narrative every kind of like update is that can Kabam save Marvel Realm of Champions, because there's no point of doing it. But I do want to kind of wish them well and make sure that they are doing what they're meant to be, and maybe it's a case that this will actually, and again I'm going to say what I think, the revitalization that the game needs. Key characters, new champions, and I don't want to say within, I don't know, 1 to 2 months we're back in the same stage of going, okay, well they said they were going to do this, this is now being put in or not put in, and players are just going, eh. But look, we've got what we needed to here, so there's a slight gap between the end of Panther's due event and the beginning of the next event. During this time, keep an eye out for additional login calendars and objectives. Well, I'm not logging in until 3.0 comes in. Over the coming weeks, we'll be breaking down the significant aspects of 3.0 in detail. Stay tuned for updates. A lot of people, either they work for Kabam or work in association with Kabam, or at least from the player base, have said that 3.0 is literally going to be the best update ever, and it's going to be what players would want to see. Do bear in mind, this is stuff that should have been in December, when the game had its first initial just kind of like blast of kind of hype. And then, you know, after that fizzled. I've never seen a game fizzle out quite so much in the first month as Marvel Realm did. But positive news is that Thor is coming to the game. And that's something that a lot of players, even when it was teased at launch, they want to see in this game. God of Thunder and Asgard Republic joins the fight. Thor's arsenal begins with 2 weapons, Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Great, fantastic, looking forward to it. Cannot wait for that. But it's not Yamborn. Yamborn's one of my favourite weapons of Thor, not Mjolnir, not Stormbreaker. Because it won't be the normal Stormbreaker that I know of, which is just the golden hammer that's more commonly associated with Beta Ray Bill, or more more popularised by Beta Ray Bill. Gear levels, a refresh on gear and progression. Well, good. You know, one of the biggest problems is getting the stats that you need, and that's still a problematic thing. To go kind of get certain stats in certain places, but gear levels may be kind of like further, whether or not it's further increasing, and how they kind of like are put into perspective. I'll be excited to know like how they want to do that and whether or not it's actually good. The next battle tier, Avenger, so that goes above, as I said, test your metals, go above and beyond. Well, that's good. I'm not seeing matchmaking. Matchmaking definitely needs to be on this list, and that's the most disappointing part of that. The current matchmaking system is not very good, and that is one of the key things that's kind of making me just not interested with kind of going and playing the game, because matchmaking is one of the key elements to Arena Conquest, which you have to do, especially at a weekend when you've got things like Arena Conquest from an alliance standpoint. If it's not put in place, it's not fair, then it's not going to be good enough for players to continue on with it. But if you want to avoid those things and focus on your other stuff, that is where the game becomes a little bit better. Whilst Kabam saw that matchmaking, you can focus on your own solo progression and other things going on. So seasons for Realm's most hardcore competitive players. Whatever these seasons are, and whether or not this is something of going like, right, well, you have a season pass, so to speak. If this is something they're integrating into the game, then I'm all for that. Season passes work in various different games, not in contest, as it's a different thing. It's not PvP, but there are PvP things in first-person shooter, your Call of Duties, your Apex Legends. Also, there's a game that I've been playing a little bit called Frag Pro Shooter. They've got a season pass on that. If that is that, if it's not that, then I think Kabam need to think about that, especially because it captures something that is out there in mobile gaming and is out there in first-person shooters and various other games as well. But if there's something to entertain people, then well, I guess if it's seasons like contests, then why is it really needed? That's like yeah. Anyway, moving on. Summoner's Journey: earn rewards and learn more about the battle world. That's cool. If you go through a Summoner's Journey the same way that you would kind of go like a solo piece of progression, or there's objectives, then that's something that's cool. It gives players an opportunity to grab more and more stuff and more things that will be just helpful for the start point. Something that very early on it's just not there in the game. You go straight into your arena conquest, so that's kind of like, it just feels like a bit too much of a jump on that direction when there should be something of a solo thing. And this is why pinnacle quests are something that we need to see if they are PvE content. So it's solo, which is great if you are a solo player or you like that rather than have to play with people, because a lot of times you go into the general or kind of global chat and people are like, oh, they're having a go at one another, this person's trash, doesn't know how to play. At least it gives you that opportunity to go and do something else where you just like take some time away from stuff that maybe is over competitive and gives you time to chill. So I'm all for that. I think that's going to be quite positive for players. It just depends on how it works. Is it going to be more of a exploration type thing, similar to like not exactly like League of Legends, or just League of Legends really, where you go on like a little kind of journey. I like the idea of something where you explore something, and that's similar to Dungeon Hunter Champions. I'm just trying to think of a few other kind of like mobile kind of examples, but I think you know what I mean. A lot of this kind of RPG narrative games where you kind of go on little explorations, but you see your character in the third person, go along. And then Showdown, a brand new co-op 3v1 World Quest experience makes its debut. So that, I don't know if that works in some sort of raid-based thing, or you go on a raid with 3 people against one particular character. Is it something more like it's World Quest experience, so it's kind of like, must be similar to that, but maybe it's got its own kind of like separate idea and narrative. Nothing really been given away here. I'll show down raids like raid bosses. Well, nothing really given away there, unfortunately. This all seems very positive. I'm a big believer of put it in the game, let's see what it's like, and then cast any kind of like thoughts on it and whether or not it's kind of like done. Because I'm not beta testing. There's no content creator program with Marvel Realm of Champions, so I don't get to see any of this stuff being built, testing out and stuff, which is, I think, a problem in a certain way, because then players aren't giving feedback. Not just me from a creator perspective, but as well if you have certain players that are able to test some of this newer content going in, then that feedback can be given very early on and it can be adapted. I'm not saying like, cast any negativity on it. It's just a case of going like, well, if this feedback's there, it helps Kabam as much as possible, especially with how things have been over the last 4 months. So that feedback, I think, is got to be due. And yeah, like I said, I'm positive about these changes, and I'm going to remain positive about them. As I said, I'm on a temporary break from the game, even though I am logging in for this particular video. But I thought it's probably best to kind of log in to kind of go like, oh, here's the game. But yeah, I am interested to see this. I will come back to play on the 4th of May, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm doing elsewhere with other games, which is taking a lot of my time, and also there's a few other things I want to do and also consider for this channel as well. But it seems all positive. And what's your thoughts on this from people that are still playing the game? Are you happy to see this? Because at the moment there's not really much going on except for the same repetition of World Quest objectives, this and this. And other stuff. So yeah, thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and see you all very soon. Bye bye.